Nate Boyer, who is a former Green Beret, also former Seahawk and Longhorn. I know he takes great pride in his Texas background and has now made forays into mountain climbing and golfing and acting. Nate has an IMDb page. What about that? And he's joining us now. Really excited to have him after hours here on CBS Sports Radio. Nate, I just spent a few minutes talking about the latest piece of the national anthem protest and the fact that the Eagles will not be going to the White House. And we do not talk politics on the show, so rest easy. I'm not asking you to weigh in politically. We've been having this conversation, though, for a couple of years. And I know going back 2 years, you had a letter that you wrote to Colin Kaepernick, and you spoke to him personally about the protests. You do a lot of interviews. People want to know what it is that you have to say because you are a veteran. You represented our country. But how much do you feel like the talking, the communicating, the sharing your perspective is actually making a difference?
Oh, I don't know how much of a difference. I think it's making a difference in a few people's outlook in life. I mean, I've had a lot of people over the last year and a half that have reached out to me from both sides of the argument, I guess, that have kind of said, you know what, I haven't thought about it that way. I haven't thought about it from the standpoint of maybe somebody that served their country or at least someone that feels very differently about, our nation and the symbols that represent it. And I've also heard from people on the other side that are like, could never, initially would never be okay with somebody protesting. But then to hear that, Colin actually reached out to me and that was a conversation that we had. The kneeling was a product of sort of a middle ground between, him not sitting on the bench and, or also him saying he knew he wasn't going to stand. And anyway, my point is that I don't think at a large scale, at least yet, it's really common knowledge about not only my involvement or whatever, but I mean the voices aren't calming down. But at the end of the day, is that what the media even wants? No, they want us to keep arguing about this, and they want there to be two sides because that's how they make money. And I'm not, I'm not putting you in that category. I'm talking about, these I don't know, just not. It's not really sports media typically. It's just
right.
It's political media. That's how they, sports media makes money off great ball games, off interesting insights and stories and stats and analysis and all this stuff in regards to sports for the most part. And politics, it's on divisive topics and, violent situations, danger, all that stuff. Like that's what they feed off. So they don't want that narrative of understanding and compromise to get out because that's boring.
So then why do you keep doing it? Why do you keep talking?
Because I think a lot of us are to the point where we are just sick of it and we're starved for some just a little bit of calm minds, and level heads. Like we don't have that anymore. It doesn't feel like it anyway. Because I know a lot of us are out there. I mean, those two open letters I wrote, which are not particularly eloquent or like, well worded or anything. It's just stream of conscious, like my thoughts and how I'm feeling. They became sort of viral on social media and whatnot for a reason, because I think everyone was like, yes, or not everyone, a lot of people were like, yes, I'm feeling that too. I'm thinking that too, whether I'm conservative or liberal for the most part. And so people were like that we need to hear more of that, but it doesn't help, those that are selling a product or whatever. So it was kind of like, it keeps getting like stuffed away. And then when something divisive, when a divisive piece of this information comes up again, or a new story comes to light, like what happened today, it's like everybody jumps on it and it becomes the new thing for 24 hours until there's some terrible tragedy that happens in our country, which is, been plaguing us like crazy, whether it's natural disaster or human-born disaster. And then we'll talk about that for a few days, and then something. I mean, it's just like, oh my goodness, or it's like, what did the president tweet today? Let's like harp on that for 24 hours. Like, oh my gosh.
What is your reaction to the NFL's new national anthem policy, Nate?
I mean, I honestly think that Roger Goodell and a lot of the people at the league level have not done as awful a job as a lot of people are alluding to. I think they took way too long to make some decisions and to kind of move forward with stuff. But I think part of the reason for that was they were trying to take everybody into consideration for the most part. Now, that being said, I think they missed an opportunity to involve the players in those meetings about what was going to be the decisions, what was going to be done. I understand the owners own the teams, and it is their business at the end of the day. But without the players, you don't have a league, and you definitely don't have a product. So they're essential. They're not just replaceable. You'll lose what's so good about football is that high competition level if you don't, keep these people involved, keep everybody involved in this type of stuff, because it's important. It's an important part of it. I know we don't play football for political reasons, but it doesn't matter. The issue is one that's out there, and it's an important one. And anyway, I think that they missed an opportunity to really involve them in the conversation and get something done positive. I don't know.
It's After Hours with Amy Lawrence here on CBS Sports Radio. We've already done that, though, and we've done the heavy, and we've had a couple of serious questions. So, Nate, let's do more of the light stuff. Thanks so much for hanging on. I've been dying to ask how the latest climb up Mount Kilimanjaro went with your group of players and veterans.
Yeah, it went great. This year was incredible. It was Water Boys is the organization where we're putting clean water wells in Tanzania, and we're climbing Mount Kilimanjaro with wounded vets and NFL players together to raise awareness for it and to make that happen. And this year Chris Long started the Water Boys initiative, so he went with us on the climb, and we had Vince Young and Connor Barwin and Steven Jackson and several other guys, including my father.
Wow!
Who came out this year. Yeah, my old man went, and it was great, man. It was a really special because of that piece of it. His dad, my grandfather, passed away a month before we left, and so it was a cool father-son moment at the top of the mountain to kind of honor him, and then the vets. These guys, some of them are missing legs, some of them are. All of them have been through quite a bit of tough stuff and are just looking for another challenge, another way to serve. And it was awesome. The NFL Films came out and shot like an hour-long documentary that'll come out.
Wow!
I think in September. So it'll be really special. So everybody will be able to see it and kind of share some of those moments with us.
So you had a camera crew that went up the mountain with you, or they were just part of your preparation?
Oh, no. They went up that mountain. And, we had, a couple of them were struggling at the top, and they were straight up like, I don't think I got anything good. And then apparently they went back and looked at the footage afterwards, and they're like, okay, thank God for good technology. It still works, but
what about your dad? Did your dad train for it? Was he ready?
He did train for it. He crushed it. He's, he's 64. He's a little beaten up. He's a hardworking man. He works with he's a racehorse veterinarian, so he's on his feet all day, working with his hands. Still works like 60 hours a week at least. And said he's had a couple of tough accidents he's been through in his life, some broken ribs and a lot of issues, foot issue, knee issues. But he toughed it out. Yeah, he trained up for it in the Bay Area, just doing little hikes around some of the hills out there when he could, and just took it nice and slow, and he did great. Got all the way up, no issues.
That's fantastic. Was Chris flying since it was a couple weeks after winning the Super Bowl, correct? Again.
Yep, that's right. Yeah, 2 years in a row. He's come he leaves. He takes off about a week, and then he just flies out there. We all fly out there and go right at it. It's kind of his. A lot of these players are out in the islands somewhere, getting their recovery and vacation, and Chris is climbing a huge mountain and helping a lot of people out there in Tanzania. So
I have to ask too, because he's one of our favorites, Justin Wren, of course, the big pygmy who's from MMA. He made the trip. Yeah.
Sorry about that.
So what was that like to have him along? Because I know this is something that he's really passionate about bringing water to villages in parts of the world where they don't have it.
Yeah, he's been all over the place. I think he's been to Congo I don't know how many times, several times. He's the big pygmy, they call him. He's a official part of the pygmy tribe out there, and yeah, he was great, man. He fit right in with the crew, and he was definitely some comic relief out there. And it's always impressive to me, people that are that physically just massive, that can go out there and do something like that, because it takes, it's a different type of endurance, and it's different muscles. Vince Young will tell you all about that, man. Vince struggled, man. The first day, I thought he was about to throw in the towel. And he'd never been on a hike in his life, ever. Never.
Oh, my gosh.
He said he went camping once. That was it. So this was it takes a lot of guts to kind of go all in on this thing like he did. He was like, man, I'll give it a shot. He came out and unbelievable. So, but yeah, Justin made it look easy though. He was pretty tough up there.
And how many feet in the air are we talking about?
19,340. It's up there.
That's crazy. Nate Boyer's with us here after hours on CBS Sports Radio. Did you know that you have an IMDb page now?
Yeah, somebody told me that, but they said I don't have a picture on it. I don't know how to do that.
No, that's true. I don't either. But it says Nate Boyer actor. So, which of these films are you most proud of that you've done? You've got a few credits there now.
So 12 Strong was awesome because it's a story about the Green Berets. It's one of the reasons I wanted to be a Green Beret, the horse soldiers who went into Afghanistan shortly after 9/11 to build this alliance. Essentially 12 guys on their own, and that was amazing. However, I didn't get to play a Green Beret. I played it, it's okay. I mean, I played a door gunner.
They didn't think you could pull it off, or what?
No, it was I came into the picture a little late in the game. I don't think anybody knew I don't know if I am an actor, but I don't think anybody knew I was acting at all. And so it kind of came up late, and I was just happy to get an opportunity. It was kind of my first big gig. And then right after that, I booked this part in Den of Thieves, and that was really cool because it was I think I had about 15 or 20 lines, and the director was awesome, a guy named Christian Gudegast, who's actually done a lot with our veterans as well, and kind of making sure that they all had an opportunity to come see that. To see a premiere of it and everything, through the MVP program. And anyway, but Christian was on the set. He was just like, man, just say something like this at this point. I'm like, okay. So most of the stuff I said, I just was, sort of just making it up.
Wow.
And if he wanted me to change something, I tried to take, he gave me an inch. I tried to take a mile every time. And he was just like, all right, you can't say that. You don't do that. That's not as funny as you think it is. There was a lot of that, but he was honest with me, and I appreciate honesty. So.
Very good. All right, so what's next? I don't even know how to identify you. You've got so many things going on. What's next?
I identify as a human being. That's what I do. There's a Netflix show called Medal of Honor that's coming out. I don't think it comes out till next January though. Now I think it got pushed quite a bit. And then, as far as movie stuff, but I co-wrote a script about our nonprofit MVP, which stands for Merging Vets and Players, with a British veteran, a friend of mine who is a very talented writer. And, we got some, I don't want to say the names, but we got some big names in Hollywood, reading it this very soon, in the next week or two. And so we're hoping to get that thing rolling, get that movie made. and then we've, just doing a lot of speaking stuff, a lot of traveling, just
Not
trying to stay
sleeping.
busy. They're not sleeping. The
not sleeping.
nonprofit stuff's pretty intense. Like it's a full-time gig, and it's not. I don't get paid to do that stuff. I just do it because I love it, and it's good to feel a part of a community, and be a part of something special with vets and athletes, and I miss all that stuff, and so I want to maintain the camaraderie. So that's kind of what fills my days up.
Awesome. Well, no doubt it's special to those people that you cross paths with, too. You can find Nate on Twitter at NateBoyer37, and he's just everything right now. Thank you, Nate. It's always good to talk to you.
Everything and nothing.